Hey my sugar bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, J. Nicole. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo?
Hey y'all, it's your girl J. Nicole, and you are tuned into the Bougie AF channel where I say stay bougie on them, and I'm serving feminism for the soul. Don't forget to check me out on them people's Instagram at OG_Bougie AF. You can also catch me on Twitter at I'm_Bougie_AF. Alright, so let's get into it. All right, so before I open it up, we're going to have, a couple stories that I have on the Twitter and Instagram that I do want to talk about. So we're most definitely doing an Instagram scroll, but I also wanted to open it up with something that was on my heart, on my mind. So it was, you know what it was? Let me be clear. It was a post that said, strong women don't get revenge. They let karma do its work. And I am someone that does believe in karma. I most definitely do. But I am not someone that I am not someone that likes womanhood, especially black womanhood, and the strength of black women to be played with in a way that suggests don't make a big deal about things that have happened to you and things you've experienced. Because karma will take care of that and you don't have to. And I know these are very, to its core, are sentiments of Christianity, sentiments of those in who, follow the words of Jesus Christ in terms of revenge and all this other stuff. God will fight your battles, all these things that I've heard growing up. I definitely at times looked at the black community in a way that suggests to me that we were a little too docile. We were a little too trained, right? I mean, when Kanye said that we should have just stood up or fought back and walked away and all these other things in terms of 400 years of history, he wasn't wrong in terms of like we should have fought back more, right? I think hindsight's 2020, of course. Ain't like we had text messages and you can call or text somebody at the next plantation and y'all get together and form a coup, and like that wasn't like that couldn't happen, right? So you wouldn't know what they were doing over there, right? Full context, it would just been hard to do, right? With that being said, what keeps a people down for 400 years is training or being groomed in a mindset that says you don't fight back, that says that God is fighting your battles, right? Give it to him and he will make a way and all these other things. And how you see that show up sometimes, so a lot of times with black women, is that they will try to tell you that is the nature of how you are supposed to be when something happens to you, right? So basically what I'm most definitely trying to say, a lot of our mentality most definitely goes back to a lot of things that was instilled in us in slavery, instilled in us through Christianity, which was given to us during slavery from a particular group of people. Y'all figure that out. So when I see people flip that into, black women and telling us the nature of who we are as a people, and we're kind, we're good, and we let God and karma, if you don't want to even say God, you say karma, you let karma does its thing. You don't fight back. You don't say nothing. Stay in your womanhood is more or less how they weaponize it. Stay in your femininity, right? Don't do things that would make you look masculine, and all this other stuff gets played with you in terms of talking about what strong and strength looks like, right? I am not someone who adheres to any of that bullshit. And I mean on the Christianity level, and I just mean on the way that people play with women in terms of manipulating them to think less of themselves, show up less, dim their lights, not speak so loudly, not take up so much room or space and air, not any of those things, to play humble, meek, and all those things that are really negative, which are really negative, right, in terms of showing up in that way. And I think there are times you do fall. You are supposed to be meek. There are times you are supposed to fall back and all this other stuff. But there's appropriate times. But it's never something that you should just be operating in, right? In terms of if you feel some sort of way about something, right? Your first thought should not be like, oh, I don't want to make too much noise. I don't want to be too much of a bother. It don't matter. It's a big world and I'm just a little person in it. I don't matter all that much. And so if I'm dealing with something, someone else is dealing with something much worse. All of these things that you have programmed yourself into and deciding to sit in the corner and be treated however you want. And that may work from some girls, and you may say that, you ain't weak, you delicate, however you want to explain it to yourself. And if you're happy, let me be clear, I am one of those people. If you decide that you aren't going to be the loud, boisterous person, you don't mind letting people do whatever, you're easy to go with or get over on all the stuff. If you've decided that's who you are and that's how you want to show up and you're happy with that, I want that for you too. Right? I am not someone who is into changing somebody. I'm not someone, if you hung around, that's trying to impose my will and my thoughts and my opinions on you. I am not that girl. So I think a lot of times when people hear me on, hear my rhetoric and hear me talk on my shows or when I do interviews, no, this shit is for me. I hope you get something from it, but this is not me trying to tell you what to do. I don't sit around and tell friends, oh, you should do this, you should do that. I don't have that ministry. I tell y'all all the time, I'll let you say the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s wrong. Not because I'm an asshole, but because I understand that sometimes people don't want someone always correcting them, don't want to feel like they're around a school teacher or a mother and all the other stuff. So if you're one of those people who don't want to be corrected, if you're one of those people who are annoyed by other people who may know more than them, and you didn't interpret that as they think they better because they are smart and they have some attributes that you don't, hey, that's not their problem. That's not my problem. All right, I'll leave you in your ignorance and look at the good show. I'm being completely honest, as fucked up as it may be. I'll leave you the fuck alone and just watch it play out. Because the one thing I'll never let a nigga do is play on me and talk about someone was hating on them, trying to get them to leave their man and all this other stuff. Girl, if you like that nigga who said that shit about you sucking on his dick and in public like that, girl, I like it for you. I like it for you. What? You would never, ever be able to say, I'm out here telling you to leave your nigga. That's just not a thing. That's not me. So, but going back to strength, I wanted to talk about strength is not only that you've endured and you've went through the ups and downs of lives and the not so good times and you've overcome it. And so now you're a strong person. Strength is also knowing what you won't allow and having boundaries in place and saying, hey, I ain't never been on that. I ain't never did that. That ain't my story. So when I talk about me and when you talk about strength, and if I choose to air a nigga out for fucking with me for eternity, because that's what I said when you did something, I didn't care if it was 3, 6, 9, 11, 99 years. You gonna get these jokes. I'ma get my shit off. I promise you. And that has nothing to do with strength, because in the same time, what I can say, I never laid on my back for a motherfucking thing. I never let a nigga put his hands on me. I've never let a nigga disrespect me. I ain't never let no bitch play in my face. Now, what a bitch says behind my back is behind my back, and I can't control that. But I'm talking about what I've never, ever, ever, ever allowed in my motherfucking face. I've never endured. I've never thought less of myself to put myself in positions that some people have put themselves in positions. And like I said, we all go through life and we're all stupid in different type of ways. But what you will never do is play with the concept of what a strong woman looks like, right? Some of you older women than me, because y'all went through life letting everybody do whatever the fuck they want to you. You were that young goofy ass girl. You were that young woman lost in relationships and letting niggas do and treat you however you want. And that ain't my story. But that don't make my story perfect. That don't make my story better than you. But when you talk about strength and what that looks like, I knew better. And I'm gonna leave that there, y'all. I'm gonna leave that there. That was 10 minutes of just I'm gonna leave that there. So let's be clear when y'all start to be funny and talk about what strength looks like, because ain't a nigga ever bopped me upside my head. Ain't a nigga ever treat me like a cum guzzler, and a nigga ever played with my back of my throat like it was recessed for the hood. Like these are things I've experienced. These aren't things I've experienced. Okay, I ain't fuck 5, 10 best friends and shit like that. These are not things I know nothing about. I know nothing about. So when you talk to me, you are talking to a woman, you are talking to a lady, and I've always been talked to a certain type of way, and that ain't changing. So when you start talking about strength and what that look like, you survived a car accident. You are very strong. The car accident of your life and your life decisions. Yes, you are extremely strong, right? So, all right, that's all I'm gonna say on that, because I will crack all fucking day, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. All right, y'all. So listen. So I just did my little intro, just talking about the strength of a woman and how that looks different. Like, it's not all the same. And don't ever let anybody play with your strength and how that shows up and what's that about, okay? It's not about you being a doormat, a quiet doormat, and that you are trained in a way that you don't show up for yourself. But also, strength is like having that inner will of just like not negatively seeking attention. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if some people just go out their way, do everything underneath the sun to get attention, to the fact that they'll do very like bad stuff, right? Negative attention, right? Like, if I had to think of somebody who does shit and they get a form of negative attention, so it meets their criteria. Attention for them is attention. Fuck if it's good or bad. Attention is attention, right? So when you think about people like Sukihana, you think about people like Sexy Red, if you think about the people like Ice Spice, then you see people who are willing to, with very little talent, do the most to garner attention, right? Like Ice Spice barely wants to turn around, right? To take a picture. Her performances are lackluster, but it's most definitely to show off her romp, her ass, and her figure and stuff like that. And same thing for Sukihana. Her way of seeking attention is to be the most ratchet, disgusting ass person in the world that you come across, right? I think Sukihana has a new song called I'm Selling Coochie or some shit. It's just a lot. You have what's her name? Chlamydia Red. You have her out here again telling stories about having chlamydia twice, and that's why I'm saying it, because why the fuck did you think we needed to know that, right? So all I'm saying is that this generation, right, we're all talking about people in their 20s. I think Suki may be in her late 20s. I'm really not sure. Yeah, I think Suki may be in her late 20s, or maybe even her early 30s. But I'm talking about a trend of doing the most to get attention, right? And it's just not the ladies. The men are also doing it too, all right? So when you see individuals like Meek Mills and academics and all the other shit, they're doing the most. Some of these content creators, they do the most. You see people doing things like in creating content, like these pranks and stuff that's getting some people hurt, right? It's the doing the most, right? For the attention. Not good attention, just attention, right? So we see it's really a problem. I mean to the point where I think if you sit back and think about, like, everyday people are being affected by this mindset, right? Like, I remember I read a story one time. I think this girl fell off a cliff or something in one of these national parks or something, trying to get that perfect picture standing on the edge. And who are you doing that for? Or one lady, she fell in a fucking volcano trying to get a picture. Like, just doing the most, right? To say, oh my God, you did that, and oh my God, you're so cool, to post it for a moment. Because I'm not dying over taking no fucking picture. You get what I'm saying? I'm not doing it, right? So people, yeah, out here doing the most. One of those examples where it went horribly wrong, where someone was seeking attention, is the story of Carlee Russell. And if y'all remember Carlee Russell, it was about a year or so. Carlee had staged her own kidnapping. She was going through a lot in life. Her boyfriend had just broke up with her, or she caught her boyfriend with another woman, and all types of shit. I think she had just got fired too on the same day. So there was a lot happening in Carlee Russell's life. And I guess the boyfriend, from what I remember, I guess there was some type of conversation of breaking up, or he wanted to break up. And this was a part of her getting his attention because he had been messing around with a hood rat, because what came out in some text messages between her and the hood rat is that she let the hood rat know that she is the better of the woman because you just ain't nothing but a dusty ass hood rat. So she talking like that. She talking that fly shit like, bitch, fuck you, like type shit, right? So all this come out in the text messages and shit like that. So she going through it. So I guess she trying to get her man to miss that thing or something. So she went to the extreme. And when I say Carlee Russell went to the extreme, Carlee Russell went to the extreme. She went to the extreme of staging her kidnapping. She told the folks, she set it up that the folks was going to find her car on the side of the road. And so find her car. They found her wig. A wig. Black women don't take off. We don't take off our wigs. I think that was like the universal sign to everybody and their mama that Carlee was motherfucking lying. I think everybody and their mama knew Carlee was lying. You took your wig off, girl. Okay. But allegedly the story was that she pulled over because she seen a white baby on the side of the road or some shit. And so she got out to help the baby. And we were led to think that Carlee had been kidnapped by some white supremacists down in them people's, I think that's Alabama. It's either Alabama or Mississippi. So we thinking that, you know, the Ku Klux Klan came out and got Carlee. Like, I mean, it was a lot going on. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the original reporting of Carlee Russell. And then we're going to look at her sentencing because Carlee looking real different. It's like they got her on that Kanye cocktail. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. All right, so here we go. We want a short story, okay? We don't want a long, drawn out story. You want something that's a little quicker. Okay, here we go. They're giving the synopsis.
The future of your business is here.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Jay Nicole, and you are tuned in to the Bougie AF channel where I say stay bougie on them, and I'm serving you feminism for the soul. You can check me out on them people's Instagram at OG_Bougie AF. You can also check me out on them people's Twitter at I'm_Bougie_AF. And I'm also on them people's TikTok at She Bougie AF, where, you know, I try to give you a variety of the different sides of me, but we are here today gathered to do us a little Instagram scroll. So let's go ahead and get into these stories on them people's Instagram.
5-year-old nursing student who called 911 claiming she saw a toddler in a diaper wandering along an Alabama highway. Then the woman vanished for 2 days. Now comes bombshell news as authorities reveal they have not found any evidence the toddler really existed. And the internet search she did just hours before her disappearance is raising lots of eyebrows.
Did she look up the kidnap movie Taken 9 hours before she disappeared? That's the shocking revelation cops made today about the young nursing student who mysteriously vanished, then reappeared.
The day that someone gets kidnapped, that 7 hours, 8 hours before that they're searching the internet, Googling the movie Taken about an abduction. I find that very strange. Yeah.
The movie stars Liam Neeson as a father whose daughter gets kidnapped. The real-life mystery began when 25-year-old Carlee Russell was driving home from work outside Birmingham. For the first time, police released the 911 call she made to say she was pulling over to help a toddler she had seen on the side of a highway.
What is he wearing?
It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper.
Then she vanished. Her phone, wig, and purse were found near her vehicle.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running.
Carlee's baffling disappearance triggered a huge search and national attention. Then, 2 days later, she returned home on foot. She was taken to a hospital, treated, and released. Her parents insisted Carlee's account really happened.
There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
Cops now say Carlee told them she had been kidnapped and imprisoned by a man with orange hair and a bald spot, but escaped.
She told detectives she ran through lots of woods, until she came out near her residence.
Cops now say there is no evidence that the toddler ever existed.
There are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers.
Police say they still have a lot of questions for Carlee Russell, but when they went back to speak with her, they say they were told she was not ready to talk.
All right, so I'm gonna have to cover that up when I do the final edit of this. Y'all don't know, but Inside Edition may be tripping. All right, so Carlee, this is such a big deal. I remember just watching it kind of aggravated me a little bit, because when black girls or black kids get missing, it's not like an Amber Alert. And I think they changed. They have a new something. I think California passed a Keisha Alert or something like that. Don't quote me. I know it's a fact, though. I just don't remember the name. But it was something real black. They, like an Amber Alert, they passed like a Keisha Alert or some shit like that, because it's not taken serious. So when you seen this black woman do this, and you see all these people came outside looking for her, it's aggravating, right? Because you're playing with something that we say in terms of like black women are the least cared about. People don't come look for us. People don't question anything. Like the response that black women get versus white women is not same or equal. So when you see that you got the response and people really showed up for your crazy ass, yeah, girl, you should have gone into like some type of creative writing and something like that. Cause a baby in a diaper on the side of the road, and you leaving your wig, your purse, and your phone. Don't leave your phone. Like at this point, I don't even know why people like. If you got some bullshit you about to do, I'm telling you right now, your personal phones is not where you should be doing that bullshit. You shouldn't be searching how to get away with murder on your motherfucking phone. You shouldn't be searching how to clean up blood. You shouldn't be searching any of these things on your personal devices, okay? You might need to ask somebody to use their phone and then clear out their history, because people won't know who phone you may have looked something up on. I don't know. I'm not really trying to tell you how to commit crimes and shit like that or get away with shit, but I'm just saying at this point, the way they're like your phone pinged off this cell tower at 9:55 and the shooting happened at 10 o'clock. Like they are that technology savvy with this bullshit right now. So I'm not quite sure why you left your phone. You're supposed to take that with you. I'm not quite sure why you like some of these people who go and spend the block on their ops and shit. Why do you have your tracking devices, aka your phones, with you, and you pinging off all types of cell phones and shit like that, cell phone towers? Like, this don't make no sense how stupid and shit this is getting. It don't make no sense. I literally was just watching the case earlier, and it was about this guy who killed his cousin, girl cousin. And baby, the way they was like, he was here at this time because his phone, and he was searching. What did he search? This guy, he searched something. Oh, he searched where there was dumpsters, compact dumpsters around where he lived at. So that way, when he put the girl's body, and he knew it would be crushed up, right? And so he did all of that type of searching, y'all. So they seen all of that, right? So all I'm saying is, y'all gotta get a little smarter out here if you're gonna be into doing some bullshit. But this is not me advocating for you to be some bullshit. So that's what Carlee did. She did that bullshit. She was Googling, as you heard the police officer said, how to get, basically like how to, pull off a kidnapping. I think she Googled something else. Could you get in trouble for falsely reporting something? I believe it was. I think she looked into a couple other things, right? So again, the girl's not well. You see the mama and the daddy. Now the daddy's real quiet. Now I love a black man that's like quiet, right? He ain't doing all that chatty patty sassy shit. Love that shit. It's such a you just gotta admire it when you see Daddy didn't sit there and say shit. He wasn't gonna sit there and lie, but the mama, these damn coddling, enabling ass mamas, the mama's gonna. She co-signing the story and saying her daughter fought for her life physically, mentally, and all types of shit, knowing damn well she knew her daughter was lying, and she still was willing to sit in front of that motherfucking camera and lie for her. Some of these parents be the problem. All right, so that's the story. Let me see what some of the comments are saying. How long ago was this? So this is about like 8 months ago. Yep, 8 months ago this happened. Okay, so clout is one hell of a drug. And that's basically what my intro was like, little intro to this video was talking about. Like, we just see all these people doing all of this crazy shit for clout. And they said she thought she was like a little Beyonce, and she was pretty. She was pretty. I said was. She was most definitely pretty. She was most definitely something to look at. She was. At first, I honestly thought that someone had used a child as bait to lure a woman to a side of the road to be kidnapped. I did too. But I think that's and it was a busy highway. So it wasn't like as y'all can see, it was like a busy highway. So it wasn't like a road that's not like well traveled. You know what I'm saying? So several people would have seen this child that supposedly was on the side of the road. And if someone was trying to lure someone, you don't necessarily would pick that busy of a highway, because a group of people could stop. A police officer could be the first person to see them, right? Like, it's kind of too random of who may stop. So that should have let us know that was a little weird too. A child as bait to lure a woman to a side of the road to be kidnapped. Although that didn't totally make sense, facts, I started having serious doubts when she simply just walked to her parents' house. Whenever you hear of kidnapped victims escaping, they flag down the first person driving by or run to a neighbor's house. They don't just walk home. And then when I found out that the snacks she had just bought were gone, and she had a bunch of weird internet searches right before she went missing, I realized that she more than likely faked her own kidnapping. Anything for clout, y'all. Anything for clout. She got what she wanted, attention. And this is sad, because it really is just about attention. No matter how I gotta get it, I gotta get it. And I think that's even like for people like wanting to go viral. I don't care what I gotta do to go viral. I need to go viral. So yeah. Never would I have imagined I would be upset for someone to return after being missing. She just wanted attention. How lame does someone have to be to fake their own kidnapping? I'm embarrassed for her, very embarrassed. But I will tell you, life is teaching me about like the extent that people go to for attention. Like it's very scary. And I say, get away from anybody who seeks it this much. You either got it or you don't, right? Like, some people are going to be noticed because of how they look, right? Some people are going to be noticed for how they dress, like they're going to stand out in that type of way. And some people are going to be noticed because of how, they speak and stuff like that, or how intelligent they are. Like, everyone will have those things that make them stand out. And I just think that the fact of the matter is everyone don't, right? And I think that's a hard place for some people to be in. Now, if you one of those it people and you stand out and you get a lot of attention, be very careful and pay attention to the people around you, right? Because there's going to be some dusty ass person that feels some sort of way. And I'm not just talking about females. I've been in situations where men been jealous, right? Because of the podcast and whatever. Talent and just being better at something than they are, right? So like, it exists. So just be aware when you may run across somebody that, they're not clapping for you when everyone else is, right? They're not cheering you on. They're not cheering you on. And especially when you see they doing shit that's like, okay, all right, I hope you get the attention you want from it. Did she really think this through? You can't tell the parents actually believe that. You can tell the parents actually believe their daughter. So sad. The mother, most definitely. I think the father was just like, I'm just going to wait and see how this play out. I hope this isn't true, but if it is, she's making it hard for people to find real kidnapped victims. It is. What was the likelihood that only she saw, that's exactly what I said, saw a toddler along the busy highway? I had doubts when I first heard the story, but kept them to myself out of respect. She lying, and she needs to be prosecuted for this stuff. People ain't shit. Arrest her immediately for false reporting. I'm so disgusted. I can't believe that I defended her. She was lying the whole time. Yeah. Her search history incriminated her. Laugh out loud. I'd be embarrassed if I were her brother, defending her, playing the race card for why her case didn't blow up and they couldn't find her. Who does this? the boyfriend was out here, the ex-boyfriend or whatever, he was out here defending her. Like, it was crazy. Like, he was trying to find, I guess she was getting the attention she wanted from him, because that's what this was about. But damn, girl, if he your nigga, I don't think you should have to do all this for his attention. That's just my personal opinion. You gotta let that shit go. Are you trying to get the fire back or something between y'all? And this is what you came up with? All right, girl. But this is her now being sentenced, and I told y'all she was a very pretty girl. She was.
Guilty.
And then CC 23889, as to the misdemeanor offense of making a false police report, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you satisfied that your attorneys, Mr. Emery Anthony, Richard Jaffe, and Lucky Milad,
Yes,
are
sir.
good and competent attorneys and have represented you well?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the plea agreements in these cases?
Yes, sir.
You're pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Well, I find that your plea was made knowingly and voluntarily, and based on your plea, I find you guilty. Before sentencing, first, is there anything that the Attorney General's office would like to add?
First of all, this case has always been about respect for law enforcement and respect for this community as a whole. Ms. Russell faked a kidnapping, duped the community, and contrived this situation. We still, Judge, don't know to this day where she was, how she got there, what she was doing, with whom she was doing it with. It is our contention that she should get some jail time. I understand that it's a misdemeanor. I do. But because of the effect that it has had on law enforcement as well as on the community, we feel even if it's weekends in jail or nights in jail, that some sort of incarceration is warranted in this case.
Your Honor, I want to genuinely apologize for my actions and the resulting negative impact inflicted onto others. I made a grave mistake while trying to fight through various emotional issues and stress. I am extremely remorseful for the panic, fear, and various range of negative emotions that were experienced across the nation. I want to specifically acknowledge and take accountability for the pain and embarrassment that I inflicted upon my family, my church family, friends, neighbors, community, and all of those who were directly involved in search efforts for me. I also extend my sincerest apologies to the Hoover Police Department and every other law enforcement agency and personnel for the position that I put them in and for the resources used. I absolutely regret my decision and in hindsight wish that I had cried for help in a totally different manner. My prayer is that I will be extended grace and given the opportunity to redeem who I truly am and restore the positively esteemed character that I have worked so hard to attain for the 25 years of my life prior to this incident. I wholeheartedly can say that I've never had any malicious intent to hurt anyone, and I pray that you will feel my sincerity and that as I prepare to pick up the pieces and go on to restore my life, that you will witness the fruition of grace.
What you did was you wasted a lot of government resources, and you're going to pay for that. We need to reserve our jails for people who are genuinely a threat to the community. Although we're very upset about what you've done, you're not a threat to the community. I'm not going to treat you any differently than I would treat any other first-time nonviolent misdemeanor offender. Accordingly, it is the judgment and sentence of this court that you're sentenced in each of these cases to 6 months in the county jail. These sentences are consecutive with each other, and these sentences are suspended. You're placed on probation for 12 months, it's supervised probation. It's a condition of your probation that you pay full amount of restitution, which is $17,974.88, paid to the city of Hoover. I'm also sentencing you to serve, and this is a condition of your probation, 100 hours of community service. I understand that you're currently getting mental health counseling, is that right?
Yes, sir.
It is a condition at this point of your probation that you continue getting mental health counseling, and I'd like to see some proof that you're getting that counseling when we come back.
Okay, so that's Miss Carlee Russell being sentenced 8 months later after faking her kidnapping. As you can see from the clip, as you can see from the clip, it most definitely I can most definitely see that she is on some type of medication right there. it seems some type of neurological type of stuff. I'm not a doctor, I just play one on my podcast. But you can most definitely tell that she's on medication and she is getting the help that she needs, and I hope it is working out for her. You can most definitely see a fragile person who is dealing with a lot of emotional stuff, and I'm not heartless, so I most definitely feel bad for her. But listen, this woman right here, this prosecutor, she was like, listen, I don't care if she got to do weekends. Like, put her down for a weekend or two or something every other weekend because she needs to go to the jail. So she's about to put her into the jail. But shout out to the judge for saying, hey, this is a first offense, nonviolent first offense. And this is not what I wouldn't put someone in jail for a nonviolent first offense regularly, so I'm not going to do anything differently here because of all the, national attention that this story got, basically. She wanted him to do some extra shit, you know what I mean? That over sentencing shit that they usually do to the black folks. She was here for it. Like, she didn't give a fuck. She was here for the over sentencing. That's what she really wanted. But let's see if we got any comments. And this was March 22nd. I might come back and listen to that. There's something not quite right with this video, right in this video. The constant blinking and trembling. Is this fair? No, I think she's on medication. I think she has some issues. Yeah, she's on that Kanye cocktail. Does Carlee have documented mental health, possibly a form of Tourette syndrome? Some sort of drug influence? Tourette's is the one where you can't control like your speech and you say like, so no, that's not what we just seen, but okay. But you're a doctor just like me, so I understand. She looks weird. He says, the sentence was fair. I don't believe she deserved jail because she's not a threat. She definitely needs to pay the restitution, though. And she needs to make a public apology, not just in court. Agreed. Yes and no, right? She's dealing with a lot of mental health. So I am pretty sure it takes a lot from her to speak about things publicly, to address things. I think she's extremely embarrassed. I'm pretty sure her family and all the other stuff. So I think she's probably extremely embarrassed. So she don't owe us anything. I mean, we just, minded her business on these internets. I think this should be enough until she's really, 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 in a good place to speak about things. It was a little much, but if played right, this just paved the way for new laws for Karens that call the police when there isn't a threat. I told y'all, Karens, that concept of a Karen it's not, I know. It is so tough because there are black Karens and there are white Karens, right? And it just is what it is. So when you hear somebody say Karens, they're most definitely talking about a specific behaviors that they can identify, and they're saying that this person consists of them. But it's not a racial thing, even though nationally it was birthed because it was pointing out what we've known a lot since Emmett Till in terms of white women falsely reporting or passively aggressively approaching black people, and then feeling entitled, feeling as if though that's their place to correct black people and speak to them in a certain type of way. So most definitely nationally got birthed from that. But when you look at like behavior in terms of like an overly sensitive person who twists things around, now all of a sudden they're a victim, that's not a race type of thing. But like I said, it does mean two different, it's multi-dimensional. That's all I can say in terms when you hear a Karen, a white woman, it's a racial component because it's literally talking about a white woman with specific behavior with interacting with black people, whereas as a black Karen, we're talking about someone who plays victims after doing things, right? To people, someone who lacks accountability, someone extremely sensitive and all the other stuff. So yeah, I mean, like I said, not all of what it is applies to everyone, down the list, but they all just saying, I feel this should have happened I feel this should happen. We should know better by now that this country will punish us for everything we do that supposedly white people. What is you talking about? Like, what? When did this become racist? I love my people and all, but that's her name, Love My People. I love my people and all, but we really do see race a little bit too much, right? She didn't get put in jail. I'm confused. Like, where is the reach in her just getting probation and having to get mental health help, right? Aren't we always talking about being over sentenced and how we should be more of trying to help people when they show signs of like having some type of mental instabilities? But I don't know. This is a pure case of mental health issues. How could the judge not see that this young woman is still a child within as a result of mental illness? Why would she get a jail sentence instead of rehab program to address her mental health problems? The judge literally said that's not what he would have done. I'm confused on why we're coming down on a judge, and I'm confused on why you're calling this grown-ass 25-year-old woman a child. That's concerning. That's something I think is also wrong with this generation, because baby, I don't know what age you is from a picture. I tell y'all this all the time. And I'm not sitting around guessing. If you are above the age of 18 years old and you out here stomping and doing your thing, you's that badass bitch, you's adult, you grown. That's all I be seeing. Y'all be trying to excuse behaviors until people's 30s, and I'm not with that. And that's not nothing to be hard, but reality says, like this court, you'll be held responsible for your actions. There's no inference except for someone under the age of 18 due to age. Teenagers kill. Like, I don't know who need to know that. People do fucked up things that result in permanent consequences for other people. So if somebody do some shit to me, I don't want to hear that child shit. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You got through 0 through 18 to get that shit right with your badass kid. I don't want to see a black woman in jail, so good on her. Just don't do it again. Not facts. I concur with Miss Giselle, community services, but after mental health support for at least 6 months. I guess somebody else said that on the line. Niggas go to jail every day, B. She'll be all right. That's slick, Ray. Fair enough. First time offenders, misdemeanor. I thought it was fair, too. All right, y'all. That's all I got for that. I just wanted to bring y'all a little Carlee Russell update and just show y'all examples of what chasing clout looks like and how we most definitely have a problem with, people and individuals like Carlee Russell and how that looks in real life. I know a lot of times people are like, that's just the internet. These people are not real. No, this is real. This is real. This is real life. People are doing the most. Right? This is real life. And so we have to be extremely aware that for individuals like a Sukiyana, I think one time I seen a video of Sukiyana, and I think it was in London, and she's standing on a sidewalk, and there's some white women just, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're walking their dog or something. It could be all staged. That's the other thing. Be very aware that people stage some of this shit, right? These extreme date moments of a female not wanting to get out the car at restaurants and shit. Some of that should be staged. So I think one clip I seen, one girl was mad at her man because he made her a gourmet dinner at home with steak, lobster tails, and she wanted to go out, and so she went off on him or something like that. But again, they had been dating for a while, so staged, right? So it was just really weird. People do things like this. But Sukiyana in London, so she's on the side of the road and she got her people with her and they got the camera, and she walk up to the camera or walk past the camera. I'm in London trying to get this pussy scratched. Who trying to scratch this pussy out in London? Okay, so it was a short clip or something like that, but I'm just telling you the levels of bottom of the barrel degeneracy that some are willing to go to, and it's really quite sad. But y'all know how we do it here. We keep it bougie as F. We keep it posh as F. We keep being black as F. We keep being bougie as F. I think I already said that, but I said it again. We keep being blessed as F. And y'all be black, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am out. Bye.